Hello there everyone, welcome back to some more Let's Play the Dark mod. In the previous episode, we continued through Chronicles of Skullduggery 2, A Precarious Position. Having explored that one rich person's home, thankfully not getting detected while we were in there by the guard or the person himself, we managed to explore more of the city's streets. We knocked out one guy and left him on the cart outside, completing a side quest, and we also returned the paintings to Gerald, the poor person who the thieves are using his apartment as a highway, more or less, going through one window and then out to other windows to avoid the guards down below. That's kind of funny in a way. But we returned the paintings after one of the thieves had stolen them and they weren't really worth anything anyway, and since he's no longer creating such a fuss or trying to stop the thieves from using his home, but instead like, okay guys, please, just don't ruin anything when you're here. One Taffer felt really bad about that, and we got a water arrow for our trouble. Let's pick up where we left off, and I'll get to see where actually we did leave off, because I've been doing a little bit of practicing on the mission. Right. When we had also left that body at the cart, having knocked him out so that the people he owes money to can pick him up, that body has been discovered by the guards, and now several of them are alerted. They will be more active and difficult for me to try to circumvent. So I'm thinking that what we should probably do is make our way to the police station now. We might be able to get there by going across these to reach the upper window we had seen. I am going to keep reloading until I do the mantle correctly, given how difficult this jump is. Made a lot of noise jumping onto this roof. I didn't realize it was made of metal.
Must be gone now. Ooh, whatever it was.
Alright everyone, we made it into the police station. There's no way we can read that. There is a guard who sometimes patrols into this room, so I need to wait here until he does so.
That's an odd noise. Nothing to worry about.
Journal of Diggory Frost. The humility! We were broken into last night by one Orville Church. He was able to pickpocket the key to the evidence lock off Inspector Farley's belt and stole all the evidence we had against him and the bloodied bulldogs. Rats. He luckily was not able to raid the offices of the captain and I, but the cheeky bugger stole some valuables out of the footlockers in the barracks, and then he proceeded to show himself into the stables and escape with one of our horses. Understandably, the captain wants to see him at the end of a rope at any cost. He has left it up to me to root him out of the whatever rock, or more like a keg of beer, he's hiding under.
I guess it was nothing.
We'll have to wait till he leaves the room to finish reading that journal. We'll have to do this several times, actually. He's hiding. I directed a few wanted posters and had them nailed up around town. Although I'm not holding my breath, I think we're going to have to go into Lower Brooksdale with a fine-tooth comb and get him out ourselves. The bulldogs are quite powerful down there. We are low on weapons, so I don't know how that's going to work out. Meanwhile, I've let the men know that Inspector Farley's key was what he used to rob us. I'm sure they will let him know what they think of that. Captain Shoreditch really got a scare from the evidence room break-in, as I saw him go in there to empty one of the evidence cupboards as the locks were being changed. I'm not sure what that was about, but he probably doesn't trust it as much as his own hidden safe. Can't blame him either. There are multiple ways into our building. As long as we're waiting here, everyone, I'm going to quickly say how much I intensely dislike that the game is not paused when I read anything in it. It makes it very difficult for me to enjoy the lore and effort put into the various texts that we find, because I'm constantly being interrupted in reading them. I wish there was a way to actually disable that. That's probably the one thing I would absolutely put to, please don't have the game run while I'm reading texts. That wasn't the case for any of the other Thieves I've played. Our building can be broken into, not the least the ventilation system that leads right into the evidence lockup. I believe this is the Brooksdale Shipping Company. There's a hammer we're supposed to get here and leave someplace if we want to complete the secondary mission. Interesting.
Lucky. I wouldn't bring it up.
We'll probably make our escape from the police station via that way. Evidence locker key. Contents of evidence lockup. Last update, September 25th. 1. Murder weapon used against one Urian Lupton on the night of September 3rd. The unidentified assailant urinated on him after the deed. 2. Belongings of one Agatha Sackwell, convicted of prostitution and public indecency, to be moved to a more permanent storage place later. 3. The seized valuables of the thief, Orville Church, who is still at large. Stolen. 4. Several unidentified items belonging to the witch, Levithia Petham, who was burned on the spot. Oi, Cornwell. Way I see it, you better cough up the protection fee. Be a shame if something else bad were to happen to your fine store here. The offering boys from Brooksdale like to come over here and now throw rocks sometimes. That's what I heard anyways. Jack Blade Jones. We had seen someone kill someone with a knife and then piss on him. I believe in the first video that we had done. Interesting. I wonder if we're going to meet that gentleman again later in the series. This will teach you to steal from the great Orville Church, you taffers. The only thing in here is that note and a pile of horse manure. A mysterious potion. Pestle mortar, voodoo doll, strange crystal, horseshoe, the gold skull, which we took. The potion was marked as special, so it must be used for some sort of quest. Weekly station report. We're going to be reading a bunch of notes in here, everyone, so be prepared for a lot of talking. Current affairs of Watch Station number 5. Week of Monday, the 7th of October. The captain of the watch in Clifton Grove has sent over information about the Brooksdale resident, Jacob Jackblade Jones, who has been routinely harassing business owners over there. We have far more nefarious characters to try and deal with here, but Captain Shoreditch wants to maintain good relations with the other side of the wall, should we need to call upon their help in any emergency. So despite my heavy workload and trying to balance the day-to-day activities of patrol, he has asked me to build a case against Jackblade Jones and see if we can have him hauled off and chained to the Clifton for justice. In the evidence room, I have compiled extortion notes he has given to the business owners in question. It is my opinion that a case can be made against him on racketeering and potentially on destruction of property. It is unclear where his current residence is, but I believe that a few wanted posters down in South Brooksdale would loosen a few tongues. Captain Shoreditch is spending most of his time with his own campaign to become Alderman of Brooksdale. We all wish him success, and know that would be helpful for our work as well. Between Lieutenant Frost and myself, we are able to handle any matters that the captain would regularly attend. This eve he is attending a banquet with Lord Cavendish, who has a lot of influence with the city council. Our current unindicted alderman, Miles Harwell, is attending as well. Lieutenant Frost has his hands full with catching the scoundrel over the church who broke into the station last week. That is a big headache for the captain, who is afraid it may make him appear weak. That's why Lieutenant Frost is spending all his time and resources working on it this week. We've already prepared a place for him in the Bill of Butcher's solitary cell. Bill the Butcher's solitary cell. They will be the sweetest couple, I'm sure. It will most likely spare us the effort and embarrassment of a trial as well. Oh, that's interesting. So they're hoping Bill the Butcher kills Orwell in his cell, I suppose. Inspector Foley is on furlough after the break-in last week. He blames himself, as do some of the men, since he had his key to evidence stolen and used. This means that his investigation into the Parch Town management is on hold. Inspector Bexley is working on the report of the incidents at Bassett General Store, where Andrew got hurt. She seems rather concerned with his health, as I saw her go down in the kitchen and check on him several times. I finally had to send her home just before nightfall. I definitely don't want her walking the streets of Brooksdale on her own at night. Tough though she is, she might end up right next to Andrew, or worse. Inspector Malmstrom is following up with informants about foul play over at the 10th Rose. It seems there are dealings with local gangs that are exploiting the patrons of the place. I've had my eye on Randall for a while now, and want to see him behind bars, since I know he's up to no good. Aldathi Grim Gresham has been added again. This time, he left a body count of 3 after a botched robbery of Bassett's General Wares in South Brooksdale. A store clerk, a guard, and 1 customer lost their lives. By the time Beldwin and Andrew arrived at the scene, Grenham and his associates were about to take off with the money. Fighting ensued, and Graham and his associates... fighting ensued, and Graham's 2 associates were slain, though Andrew received several blows and Graham managed to escape. Andrew was able to hobble back to the station with Baldwin's help, and he's now lying down in the kitchen to recover from his ordeal. A more thorough report will be written once Andrew is back in shape to give his recount. Inspector Baxley. Baxley's journal. Journal of Carolyn Bexley.
Pretty jumpy tonight.
Wednesday the 9th of October.
Relax and keep a blade handy.
Tragedy has struck today. Andrew and Baldwin went on patrol in South Brooksdale, never a good day, and witnessed a robbery in progress. Ever the hero, Andrew rushed into the store that was being robbed and ran into 3 armed thugs. Baldwin joined in the fight, and together they struck down 2 of the robbers, but the bastard Graham Grim Graham got away. Andrew came back to the station barely able to walk and a glossy look in his eye. The cook has some medical skill, but I fear regular health potions won't be enough to save Andrew. I can't lose you now. I've not even told you how much I love you. Oh, Andrew. If I were able to, I would break into the evidence lockup and take the pagan regeneration brew that was confiscated from the witch, Levithia Petham. In the notes it said the potion has the ability to heal bones and organs from the inside, unlike any known healer's brew. Unfortunately, I don't think it's possible to convince the captain to let me in there. If only I could get a hold of it and switch it with the regular health potion next to Andrew's bed, he could recover, and no one would be the wiser. Then I can finally let him know how I really feel about him. Oh, my sweet Andrew. Lieutenant Diggory Frost. Oh, this was the guy's office that we had snuck in to the police station from. On furlough. I'm on furlough until Monday to deal with a family matter. For inquiries about investigations, please contact Sergeant Harris. Other non-urgent matters are more easily handled by Inspectors Bexley or Manxton. Inspector Fowley. Poor guy. We'll wait for this guard to come out of that door. Then we'll check around the corner and see what that note says on the door. We're also trying to find a place to hide over there. What is this? Matson's report. This could work, as long as we're not... Oh. This would be a better spot. I don't think we would bump into him there either. Now, what does this say? Nobody is to enter Captain's office until he returns tomorrow morning. If for any reason there is an emergency, you must have the supervision and the key that is in the safe in the lobby, which Corporal Thomas can open for you. You'll find him sleeping in the barracks, though I envy not the one who chooses to wake him. Sergeant Harris. Locks are not usable on that. Lock picks are not usable on that door. Alright, so our next step then. I suppose is the barracks. Actually. The loo. Thankfully, they must regularly flush this system out. Because we haven't had to walk in any crap yet. I don't think this is the police station any longer. Murdoch residence key. And there are secrets in this map as well. 13, and we've only discovered the first one of them now. Let's wait here a bit and see if this guard stands up to go on patrol, or if he just sits here the entire time. I'm going to cut the recording, everyone, and when I come back, he'll either have stood up and begin his patrol, or I will have decided that he does not do so. Still waiting, everyone, but it occurs to me, we have a report we didn't read. My informant over at the Tender Rose, Gavin, had some very interesting news to share with me this evening. Usually, we are scouting the clients of the place for potential information. This time, however, it seems that the owner of the place, Randall, seems to be involved in shady deals with local gangs to influence powerful clients to make decisions that benefit them. I'm not yet sure how to classify this, but I'm sure there is a crime being committed. I must consult the bylaws and report later. He hasn't moved for some time, everyone, so let's make our move instead. Journal of John Murdoch, 3rd of October. May the Builder have mercy. The crime in this part of town is nigh unbearable. Just a few days ago, there was even a break-in at the City Watch right across the street from us. Unbelievable. They are now on high alert and have increased patrols, which is certainly a good thing, although it doesn't satisfy my concerns entirely. My oaf of a neighbor, Gerald, seems to get most of the thieves and blackguards going through his place. They are not welcome here, which is why I've decided to hire Robert to patrol our house at night. Not cheap, but worth it. Oh, Tim, you're quite visible. Oh, that was lucky. Sounds like the guard downstairs in the kitchen should be on patrol.
That's my problem. I need to just relax. Someone else is going to have to do it, though I bet they won't.
You're paying them to do that work, sir. You should be more forceful.
I don't have anything to light it with. No one else takes any notice of it, so why should I?
A telescope. A bag of goods up here, but nothing we can take or search. Oh, there's Geralt right there, out on his balcony. Interesting. So we could have gotten here into this home right away if we wanted to. Nobody knows what's beyond the city wall. I'm telling you, Frank. Do you know Fieldstone Barrow's right? Oh, wow. You know Fieldstone Barrow, right? Do you really? We've all been there, but I bet you couldn't give directions to save your life. Nobody can. I'm telling you, Frank, something isn't right with this place. Just last night, I leaned out my window on my tippy toes and looked over the roof. Do you know what I saw? An inky abyss, that's what. Something very strange is going on. And another thing, Frank. When was the last time you remember something from the day? The daylight? The sun? Anything? It's like we're living in perpetual night. I'm telling you, we should meet up and try to figure this out. Yours, Jay. Cute. Fourth wall breaking stuff. I like that.
I don't have anything to light it with. Well, what am I supposed to do? Not say anything? It's not my fault I'm right.
This guy checks over his shoulder pretty frequently. He's going to be a bit tougher to sneak past. don't see anything of interest on the shelves. No healing potions or the like hidden among them.
Oh, that's what I'm trying to remember.
We'll wait till he comes out of whatever room he just entered before we go back into that hallway. It is a little dark in there. We put out the torch. But I'm nervous that he'll come right back out, and he's doing that. Interrogation room. Some arrows. Looks like a noisemaker, a broadhead, and a water arrow. Some noisemakers. Some arrows. A noisemaker arrow. A broadhead. And the water. Cell 4 key. That must be 3 and 6 then as well. Cell 1. Solitary confinement. Bill the Butcher. Real name unknown. Murderer. Life sentence. Keep body parts away from windows. Something. Cell 2. Solitary confinement. Richard Sticky Rick. Old and loitering, begging. 2 weeks confinement. Seems to be ridden with consumption, therefore put in solitary confinement. Cell 3, currently unoccupied. Cell 4, Adam Norwood. Public vandalism, attempted rabble-rousing. 3 months confinement. Cell 5, Agatha Fivepenny Sackwell. Prostitution, public indecency. 2 years confinement. Cell 6, Quentin Quickfingers Finch. High-profile thief, breaking and entering. Grand larceny. 5 years confinement. Let's read this book in the loo. Doesn't look like the guard patrols in here. Jailkeeper's Journal. September 25th. Today we welcome another member to our little family. Agatha Sackwell was charged for soliciting carnal pleasures on the streets of South Brooksdale. Naughty girl. I'm happy to see the fairest sex represented in our cell block, though I think that we should keep the key to her cell far away for her own good. The guards might take the key hanging on the rack as an invitation for some free fun. Let's spare her that at least. However, my limited interactions with her suggest she wants to continue her practices, It seems Quentin's condition is improving. I was afraid the cell block would never sleep again due to his coughing, but he quiets now. It would seem block 4, right? Was that what the Hammerites were talking about when Cuddy also had consumption? After 3 sessions in the interrogation room, I've got not a word of his loot from the heist. I know he hid it somewhere before we caught him. I'll give him a few more opportunities to confess before I call in the heavy muscle. I'm really hoping he will tell me in the confidence so I can inspect the hall myself before I tell Edric. October 1. That's about a week later. It is a week later. It seems Adam is at it again. This time he's protesting his lower ration of food. I had no choice but to decrease his ammunition. He makes a terrible stink in his cell, and there's nobody working here who would stoop to cleaning those walls off. In other news, Bill might be getting a roommate soon. I'm so excited for him. A thief named Orville broke in here a few nights ago and stole a bunch of things. Most egregiously, poor Inspector Nibbles. The nerve! Big mistake. We will find him and he will regret the day he was born. The captain has entrusted me with the new key to the evidence lockup so we don't have any more accidents, should we get broken into again. Nobody is stupid enough to break into the jailer's office, even to get the key from the evidence room. I'll rest safely here behind my journal. The second solitary cell, meanwhile, is no longer empty. They brought in a street beggar to be part of our little family. Goes by the name Sticky Rick. Turns out his cough is worse than Quentin's. Oh, yeah. Quentin was the thief, I think, right? Wasn't he the... Cuddy. No, Cuddy was the name of the thief. Quentin was the name of the guy with the... Quentin was also in the second thief game. Wasn't he the one with the lucky hand? If you played on challenging or above? Anyway, sorry. The cough is worse than Quentin's to the point that consumption can't be ruled out. I think it's safer for the rest of the family if he stays in solitary confinement for the time being, to see if he will survive. I'll put the key far away so we don't have any mishaps. If he does survive, he can have Patrick's old cell. No sense in leaving it empty. Maybe we want to grab the key to Agatha and leave it in whatchamacallit's office? That would be cell block 3, is that correct? Oh, I'm not allowed to go back to the first page? This is the first page, Tim. I'm not sure what room he's in. Sorry, she's in. Three is unoccupied. 5. We have this key to cell 6. That's the thief. Good thing he's not very suspicious. Oh, this is the kitchen. Okay, we need to know, or we need to get in there to swap the potions. I want to wait till this guard comes out of his cell, though. Actually, you might be mistaken. I thought the wounded
Did something?
guard was here. Oh, he is. There he is.
Did something?
You're kidding me.
Alright.
Okay, let's do this again. Actually, we'll just wait in the hallway. I guess I could knock out the cook, but I think he's... You know what? Let's knock out this guard, Tim. Bless you. Actually, we can't knock him out. I don't think we can knock him out.
She's not going to be happy about this. That's for sure. Bugger it. Did I see something? Alright, let's finish this. Hiya! Help, he's got a weapon. Oh, help!
So we have to use a water arrow if we want to get in there. Or we just charge him and knock him out. I guess we'll do that. That feels wrong, though. He is watching the one guy to make sure he survives. We'll use a water arrow. We have 10 of them.
Bloody keg leaking all over the place again. It's a waste of good ale.
Yeah, Tim, that wasn't so bad.
Huh.
Oh, that's what happened. He turned around to walk over to him.
I thought I heard something.
Prisoner food. This bucket is for prisoner food only, including but not limited to stumps, crumbs, scraps of meat, partially found ingredients, and other things suitable for pigs. Wow! So they're not treating their prisoners very well.
Huh. Noise.
2 years confinement for prostitution. That seems really harsh for her, poor girl. Actually, Tim, didn't you want to see if key 5 was there? Key kept far away from her. Maybe it's already in the officer's room. I didn't see it. We saw room 3, 4, and 6 hanging there. Holy crap, tons of arrows of all sorts of different types. That's amazing. 12 water arrows, 8 moss arrows, and 17 broadheads. 3 noisemakers as well. Alright, we have plenty of arrows, enough that I can not be so stingy. Two gas arrows. Caution, gas arrows. These arrows are for use in the event of riots or other emergencies only and are to be handled solely by trained personnel. If a gas arrow fires off indoors, seek fresh air and let the room air out for 30 minutes before attempting re-entry. The mishandling of gas arrows may lead to coughing and other respiratory issues, sudden loss of consciousness, or death. If you find yourself lightheaded while handling gas arrows, stop immediately and consult a physician. Caution, flash bombs. These bombs are for use in the event of riots or other emergencies only and are to be handled solely by trained personnel. If a flash bomb fires off and you find yourself temporarily blinded, sit down on the floor and wait for your eyesight to return. The mishandling blah 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 blah. Upper Brookstone patrols, Wednesday night. Giles, patrol from the lobby of the City Watch to the gate to Lower Brookstale. Baldwin, patrol around Heritage Square. Norman, patrol between the Market and Periwinkle Court, including Alley. Beauregard, patrol Periwinkle Street and Scarlet Square, Scott Court. Signed, Sergeant Harris. Reward of 1,500 gold. We've already read about this for Orville Church. It must lead outside, is my guess. In which case, I do need to be a little careful. There's a guard who... Oh, hello, what is this? Wanted. Beanie and his accomplices. A crew draped in shadow, not much is known about them. It's known, however, that they have much sway in the inner workings of Brookstale, in some cases down to dictating the everyday lives of its citizens. Other members include the following dark figures. Amadeus Bookie. Goldwell, consultant. Oh, sorry. Amadeus, Bookie. Goldwell, consultant. Cambridge spy, spotter. Boiler's hiss, fixer. Suave Steve, informant. Taffer boy, muscle. Jedi wannabe, eavesdropper. These are all assumed aliases. Nice. Alright, why don't we stop here as well, everyone? We've almost got the 2,000 gold we need to complete our main objective. It's one of our main objectives, to acquire that much money. So we'll make our way into Eldrick's office in the next episode. I'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching, everyone, and take care.